John Black from Motherwell, James Kermode from Coatbridge and Airdrie, James McElroy, Craig Newton, Wishaw, William McMullen, Moss End and Bellshill, James Wark, Coatbridge and Airdrie, James Bailey from Coatbridge and Airdrie, Charles Goodfellow, Moss End and Bellshill, James Loughran, Motherwell, James McKissick, Motherwell, and Joseph Stevenson, Moss End and Airdrie.
Thanks, Mark. So, I'll call out the organisation and people that are laying the wreath and come up and put the wreaths in. So I'll start with the No Passaran Memorial Committee. Have the Motherwell RMT, Motherwell Wishaw RMT branch.
We'll maintain. We'll maintain.
Get the Aslef Motherwell branch. I think it's one from the North Lanarkshire Trades Council. I have one from the Young Communist League. I've been instructed to get this right. The Communist Party of Great Britain. Ask Claire Adamson, MSP for Motherwell. Apologies if I've missed anybody else. If anyone else has got a wreath or anything they want to come forward. Okay, let's just pause for a moment and remember all the victims of fascism, and we'll have a minute's silence. Okay, thanks. Sorry. I'm now going to ask for the final speaker, and that is many of you know Izzy. He's here speaking on the situation in Palestine. He's from the Scottish Palestine Solidarity Campaign.
Thank you, Andy. It's a great honour to stand here before you in remembrance, resistance and in solidarity. And as per Andy's introduction, I'm speaking on behalf of Scottish Palestine Solidarity Campaign, and my role in the SPSC is as Trade Union Officer. The last commemoration which I spoke at was James Connolly Commemoration in Edinburgh. And I bring echoes of that with me now because Connolly still speaks to us across the decades. He reminded us that the cause of labour is international, indivisible and rooted in a struggle against imperialism. He once wrote, of course, our demands most moderate are, we only want the earth. But Connolly wasn't just poetic, he was revolutionary. He understood that working people, no matter what flag they live under, are united in their struggle against exploitation. And that belief lives on. In the memory of those we honour here today, the volunteers of international brigades who left Scotland to fight fascism in Spain. And it lives on still in the cries for justice rising from the rubble of Gaza and from occupied streets of Ramallah. Those who went to Spain in 1936 were not adventurers. They were trade unionists, anarchists, socialists and communists, people of principle, people who understood that fascism anywhere is a threat to working people everywhere. Their slogan, of course, was simple: no passerán, they shall not pass. That same fire burned in Connolly when he led the Citizen Army, fighting not just for independence, but for a workers' republic, free from landlords, bosses and empire. And it's that same spirit that must guide us today, as we witness with horror the genocide in Palestine. Let's be clear, the bombs falling on Gaza are not just an attack on a people, but an attack on an idea. The idea that all lives are equal, that the oppressed have a right to resist, and that colonialism must be confronted and defeated. The same forces that turned a blind eye to fascist terror now arm and defend Israel's apartheid regime. Regardless of the weasel words which we now hear from our governments, now feeling squeamish, too squeamish to face the consequences of their own complicity. And in the face of this horror, we have to be honest. Too many of our own have failed as well. In the past year, some of the most repressive legislation we've ever known has been imposed, criminalising even non-violent solidarity. This repression, once normalised, will not stop with Palestine, will be turned against trade unions, environmentalists, anti-racists, anybody who pursues a progressive agenda. We already see it. We've got activists, comrades, including our own members, facing terrorism charges, looking at possibly up to 14-year sentences for wearing a t-shirt. Other activists on bail at the moment being visited by the police every day and told they're going to be visited every day. Personally, I was out in Edinburgh yesterday leafleting outside the supermarkets, and we were shadowed by 3 van loads of Greater Manchester police. This is where we are. This is the repression that we're seeing and restrictions on our freedoms. And throughout the time since this genocide started, and I've been speaking at a lot of events, people have asked, where are the unions? It's a good question. Since these repressive measures have came in, STUC, silent. The TUC, silent. Not one union, to my knowledge, has spoken out on the prescription of Palestine action. There are some honourable exceptions. I know Glasgow Trades Council have. But if we're going to remain silent on issues like this, people will draw their own conclusions, and legitimately so. As we can draw conclusions on other organisations and people. Feminists, silent while tens of thousands of women and girls are slaughtered. Footballers, who once took the knee, red card to racism, but nothing to say about a racist slaughter of tens of thousands of people. They're exposed, and we see them, and shame on them. And I've warned repeatedly that the trade union movement will face the same exposure if we don't stand up. Because how can we honour the international brigades whilst ignoring Gaza? How can we quote Connolly but do nothing while children are buried under rubble? It was Connolly who warned us, revolutionary, but without revolutionary purpose, even the most radical sounding institutions can become lame. So it's up to us, it's on us, to demand better, to lead when leadership fails, and to act when others look away. Because solidarity is not a slogan, it's not a badge or a t-shirt, it's an action and it's a duty. The men from North Lanarkshire who gave their lives in Spain didn't go because it was easy. They went because it was right. And the struggle they joined, it didn't end. It continues in refugee camps, in hunger strikes, on picket lines, and in protest marches in our streets today.